things right? Okay, going down into the rabbit hole, as they say. So, New York City is usually like a major plot point in our lives, at least for fiction. And New York City is usually the punching bag of many universes, you can say. So when I connected to like the wormholes are, I know that's not exactly a normal word for most people, but portal anomalies that are created from other dimensions. I know it sounds like you're talking. It's like nobody knows what. I mean, some people know, but others are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Anyway, a place for a wormhole to be created. There's many places, but one of them, a prominent place, would be New York City. It's like the place of chaos. During the pandemic, that was like the biggest place. Didn't have to be, it could have been anywhere, but so in New York City is just never a normal place, really. And it's just a subject matter of many. It's like a chosen, Babylon of our time. So the multiverse energy it seems like it's always worked because it does affect us. All the news look at the media, you look at newspapers, the biggest news channels. There's always some kind of New York connection. It needs to start somewhere, and then it sends out. Starts in New York City, plants that seed, and it sends out. San Francisco has some of that, of course. San Francisco has their own portals, obviously, for various different reasons. Jeez, it's like a war zone. Of course, New York City is a war zone too. So they kind of peril each other. They're on different parts of the coast. And it just isn't, I don't think there's anything like New York City anywhere, really. I mean, Dubai is trying to be that, but maybe Singapore, like a lighter version of it. Of course, you have China, has a lot of cities, Hong Kong. So there is some similarities. Yeah, China has, I think, bigger cities than New York, actually. But New York is still a major, destination for manipulation on many different levels. And there's also pocket realities where there's, it's like talking crazy, but like with us, there's an alien energy here. There's a spirit realm that's here. Is an alien dimension, and they're all watching us. We can't see them. So you have like kind of like observer beings, things like that are here. So yeah, this whole universe energy, or just the multiverse, it starts. Yeah, if you live in New York City, I mean, I'm nowhere near New York City. Obviously, I have New Yorkers here somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm kept out of there because it's not exactly a safe place. Of course, California isn't safe either, but New York is just the vibe of it doesn't feel normal. I feel like there's multiple agendas. You have Rockefeller Plaza that's there. It's just not a normal. I'm not to say there's anything normal anywhere, but that's really not normal. Of course, Philadelphia is kind of falling apart at this time, but still, yeah, it's just a place where anomalies occur that nobody probably will notice, but it's like it's seeded into it. I mean, usually like these sci-fi stories are always in New York. Usually, Men in Black, The Fringe. I'm not sure about the X-Files. That was a different type of era, but either way, New York is usually, catastrophes. The world's going to blow up. It's all New York. So there's something obviously going on. You can say New York itself has like its own CERN energy frequency. Even if there isn't a physical, and other realities, there can easily be a CERN, like a pocket reality. There easily can be a CERN there, but just we don't see it. Of course, I know it sounds like we're going into fictional land, but there's obviously no way to really prove it. But things are not always making sense. During 9/11, there's a lot of things. That's a good times. Like things are not making any sense. Bill, and someone crashes. Things are like some odd things are going on there that just cover ups are going one cover up after the other. And I think even if I remember right, like detention centers, something like that. I forgot who was being detained, but anyway. So it goes some more into that. Also, Kanye West. Been looking into his stuff. I'm not that familiar with him. I remember him telling off George Bush a long time ago, and that's about it. That's all I know about him. Of course, he's like super much in the news now. I mean, that's one way to cancel yourself. Interesting. I got like a Martian energy from him. But anyway, he had the God song. I believe it's like talking about himself, though. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like some of that's himself. So, I mean, you are a celebrity, you can do no wrong. Well, I guess that's over. And he pretty much got whatever he wanted, and now he's getting canceled. I don't know if he can change all that around. I don't know if he wants to. Not that I care. It's definitely playing a distraction. I mean, you think like someone like Kanye West is like, it's like a program in his mind. It's like, okay, now destroy yourself. So who knows? Whatever attachment that's there is, it's hard to say on a physical level. On a metaphysical level, I can definitely see an entity that says we need a puppet show. And he's the puppet for right now. It was Musk. Musk did all he could. Now we're on to Kanye West. I don't know who we're going to go to next after that. I mean, Musk will come back eventually. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, well, I've been learning stuff from Kanye West, actually. The African kings, which I never thought about. Well, you don't hear about it. I just never... I've looked at ancient sites and things like that and the ruins, but never once have I thought about African kings. It's never really... I mean, I know there's civilizations there and all that, obviously. But when it comes to African kings, I do feel like there's an Anunnaki frequency. Of course, Kanye West brought up not about the Anunnaki. We did bring up about the African kings, but just never. So I would dive into that in the future, but I just wanted to put that out there. Not exactly to go too deep into it, but it's definitely an energy worth unraveling. But yeah, I mean, he said, I don't know, he brought it up. He must have had some kind of connection to like a I don't know if he was a king or not, but I can see him like a prince, maybe a king, possibly. Not a very good king, though, as you can see. So, I'm learning something from the guy, at least. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. I really don't listen to his stuff or anything, but anyway. Okay, as I'm talking about our prep sessions, we have a schedule. We have a shop here. I forget where I'm at, but I'm somewhere in October. Of course, October is on its way out. I'm in the middle, same situation here. We have the upcoming event in December. I'm going to be there. I haven't already told my work about it. I'm going to go anyway. We have the prices here to go, and here's the people that are going to be there. And we'll all be on a bus hanging out. So this is the schedule here for Wednesday. Hopefully you can read it. It's still not exactly the most legible, but it's close enough. You just have to have good glasses. You have the webinar coming up and behind the scenes. And then, so to go into some of this real quick. So, New York is a bit of a portal. I mean, that feels like a portal. It's like towns. I don't even know what that is called. Town Square or whatever it's called, or that's Times Square. Yeah. So that's a portal energy. You have all this astral manipulation going on. Even the island itself. I don't know. It's just lovely, all its wonderfulness. Of course, then you have the tunnels are kind of like portals, or they are portals basically. Of course, they're always digging under the city and everything. Of course, then you have the subway systems. It's another portal energy. It's just a lot of mysteries there. Of course, also you have the Statue of Liberty, which is just, I mean, it's like you find out what reality you're in. Just look at the Statue of Liberty. Of course, we don't always remember. We do shift realities. We're just not always aware of it. But obviously, ours is pretty much the same. Things don't shift that. I mean, of course, you shift timelines when we have major events happen and all that. We take like the pandemic and 9/11 and all that. So we take a new direction. But the Statue of Liberty is still an anomaly. There's nothing like it. At least for us, there's nothing like it. It's still a bizarre, Illuminati, symbolism. Of course, you have the wormhole energies, obviously. Oh, there you go. Was it about? Yes, there you go. It was in a movie. You have that. But yeah, New York is always like this main, doomsday. If anything's going to blow up, it's going to be New York. It's going to be first. So, yeah. Anyway, so you have these observers. So you have regular society. So you have regular society. You have this dimension, and then you go into a pocket dimension, and you have beings like this roaming around. Something like it. And they have certain technologies. They might call it fiction, but is it really? I mean, it's just obviously they don't want you tapping into their realms. Obviously, it's like very sensitive reality. But I mean, when they talk about governments and all that, you see Stranger Things doing what they're doing. It's not all that. I mean, is it real? I mean, there's a shadow government here. So it just obviously doesn't make itself known. So in the military definitely knows something. Doesn't mean it's these guys exactly, but still. So the idea of comes to that was it NORAD? Yeah, they know something. Of course, we're in a mountain. Yeah, NORAD. Is it ever? Anyway, they watch our airspace and all that. I mean, they have tunnels there too. So, yeah, NORAD, Illuminati. Yeah. I mean, it's real. I mean, it really is. I mean, when you look at the military, and they keep it kind of away from us, but there's something weird. There's something there that's going on they don't want us to know about, obviously. But they're not exactly hiding it the best either. They're hiding it, but they're not. But also, with Kanye West and his "I Am God," I don't know about this other stuff. Yeah, whatever. But the "I Am God" song is, yeah. He's telling us a lot. Of course, he's connected to Rockefeller. Even if it's not like, I mean, it has Rockefeller energy there for sure. But it's maybe not the same exactly, but still, it has Illuminati energies that are tapping into. Of course, you have Jay-Z, which I think has probably been taken over since like childhood. So maybe when he wasn't so much a kid, even when he was a kid. Yeah. But anyway, Rockefeller, yeah, you kind of get the idea of that. And the African kings, I'll have to go into that some other time. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, but either way. Yeah, there's a whole history there that I don't think that's even mentioned at all. God, it's been buried for obvious reasons. I feel like they did have alien technologies to some level, at least in the very ancient side of themselves. Yeah, Africa wasn't always at war with itself. It's being covered up, obviously. It's kept as a third world country for a reason. And South America also, so they can hide stuff. So it's just, gotta love it. So for tap more into it. So the multiverse energy that's there in New York City. Yeah, we just tap into it. Just see what I can bring in on that. Yeah, really, this is like sensitive stuff. I mean, it'd be all right, but if you feel like it's not comfortable for you to tap into, don't. Because it can get very strange there. Because yeah, you might see insectoid beings, which is hilarious. I'm seeing that. Yeah, like giant spiders or something like that in other dimensions and all that. It's just there's a lot of paranoia energy. Obviously, there's a lot of archon energy. Of course, there's archon energy everywhere. But the one thing about New York City is the buildings. It's the structures that are there. They're hiding stuff. They're just just like they're antennas. The buildings themselves are antennas that connect to other versions of Earth. And for us, obviously, we're not going to see the changes. And it's like when we hit it, like another version of Earth, obviously, how this happens, but it's like a gradual change. Like we don't really see it. Like if it just hit us, like like the Mandela effect, which it does sometimes. But I think most of it's gradual. We can't see it unless you're sitting around doing nothing, and you're away from all the clutter. Because a lot of people have friends, families, and all of that, so they're living in that little world. So if you're outside of all of that, and you just tap into your own consciousness, into your own spirit realms, you can see a little bit more than what others see. It's like your magnifying glass, you can say. So, all right, we're going to multiverse energy and Kanye West, a little bit African gods and kings. We'll see where that goes. This will be mostly about the New York City and also other cities that need to be mentioned. Also, let's see what comes through that. Obviously, yeah, this is a tough one because it's not part of society to break all this open yet. I mean, we are kind of, but still kind of, blocked for obvious reasons. So, but they are telling us stuff. It's just we're not taking it seriously. We're not supposed to. When you start taking this stuff seriously, the stuff they call fiction. Yeah. Well, they have to, like the Men in Black and all that. They have to create this reality to keep us in it. That's their job. So, anyway. All right. Blessings. Greens. You can say we are the consciousness of New York. There are, of course, different realms that you're tapping into. All of you are from different realities, every single one of you. And of course, some of you are connected to the same place, but that's why you have so much diversity here. Yeah, you won't believe the diversity on your planet. You might see it through race, but if you start connecting to other planets, other dimensions, other realities, like you're really diverse here. That's why it's so complicated. Eventually, you'll see more of the people that are just programmed into the system like a machine. Many of you are deleting that and becoming more aware, but others are basically keeping your third dimension reality going. Yes, you call it matrix people, whatever name you want to give it, but basically they're the heart and soul of this reality, at least for now. Yes, they go to sports, they go to all these anomalies, video games, whatever it is. Well, they go with, see, they have to keep attraction going on. This has to be attractive. Sports has to be attractive. Video games have to be attractive, because if it's not attractive, if video games like boring and not exciting, this reality, they tap out of this reality. So your regular matrix person awakens and now they're free. So I wonder what's part of the awakening. It's just that this third dimension reality is not working. So those that are creating this reality, yes, has to get the CGI working better. And video games and movies, whatever it is, they have to tell this story. And obviously, they're kind of running, you can say they're running out of ink. I mean, they're just not as good as they used to. Now, back in the old days, it was easier, but now it's like they are kind of exposing themselves, but not fully, because still there's still many people still holding on to this reality. It's still the salesmanship is still, for now at least, they can't quite think of like when they start pulling back and just like questioning their reality. It takes a while. Some do connect to the multiverse as a joke, and they do feel like there is multi realities out there. They're not really ready to just really step back from this reality to see multi dimensions and also themselves in a different way. See themselves as an energy being, yes, living a human experience, but also if more of society starts to step back from your pop cultures, which some are, but the thing is, like your average person is now becoming more celebrity, but that's still part of the system, though. I mean, that's good. You're not being part of the celebrity of the propaganda machine, but now you're going through the individual and their universe and their reality, and some of that's a lot of manipulations. So eventually, you'll step out of that also. So basically, this reality starts to fall apart. Well, you just don't need celebrities anymore. You might have some that's at a certain level, at least for educational purposes, like more of your who you're warning from, basically, instead of putting a spell on everyone. Because a lot of people that are very popular right now are putting out major spells, as you can see. But basically, so distorting. I mean, yes, it's a little bit better having more of your common person as a celebrity, but really it'd be better just more your teachers as celebrities to break free of all of this. Would probably be better. So it's like you're just relaxing this reality and not, yes, the politics of it. Some are addicted to politics. So you can just step back from that. You can still look at it, but just doesn't absorb your energy as much. The more attention you give to this third dimension reality, the more the record player keeps playing. So many of you have stepped back a great deal. You might have found drugs or all that. You need something. Where you're connected to you're connected to your astral realm. So it makes sense. But basically, yeah, a physical world has to, yes, have some kind of salesmanship, as some kind of like 1920s, 1930s ancient ruins, whatever it is, to keep you part, to keep your soul wanting to be attached to this. But then when it starts, just like a business, when the business knows it's selling, selling things that nobody wants in it, people will stop going. So that's with this world. It's like, we figured your world out. So it's basically just not letting it get to you as much. Yeah, some things that will get bother you and all of that, but you're starting to just slip away back into your own reality. And yes, your reality might be a little bit twisted and demented. Obviously, it needs to be at a certain level, and it's not always making itself completely clear. But yes, it also can be like those that have like deep astral dreams and then they wake up back in this realm. It's like, huh. Yes, what do I do with that? Well, because you can't go into the astral realm and just stay there. So yes, you're here to figure out this reality, what it's here for. And obviously, the beings that are, yes, seducing society are doing everything they can. The wormhole energies, all these different pockets. There's countless pocket realities that are here, and they don't always know that your world's here. But yes, they put signals and knowledge here to keep you attracted to the third dimension. They're not always aware of it. But as you start breaking free of it, that's when your human trafficking starts to reveal itself more too. And that's where everything starts to fall apart here. So basically, just not giving any of this energy, which many of you are not. You just don't know what to do. It's like you pull back from politics, you're pulling back from all of this, but you're still not seeing anything happen. Well, it's something that has to do with just society itself is not ready. Well, those obviously controlling reality is like, well, maybe you people will just go away. Nothing will happen. No aliens will show up. And maybe you people will just find something else to do. Get back into the system so it can mess with you. For Kanye West being a god, you can say he's testing the waters to see who will worship him, who will trust him. Yes, he's obviously going through a lot of mental disorders. He's kind of like 3 or 4 people in one person. So that can get a little bit confusing there. It's like part of him's like, wow, I should have said that. Another part is like, yeah, I keep saying it. So let's put it this way. There is some fascism energy there. But then there's other things going on too. So there is it's a lot of hot water there. African kings and all that. Um, yes, it's been buried for various different reasons. Basically, they're connected mainly to the minerals, diamond mines, things of that kind. Erased from history because they don't want to give anybody any ideas. They don't want you to connect to your power. They want you to be powerless. Obviously, a lot of that knowledge has been lost for obvious reasons. There was alien technology during the past. Obviously, most of that's been forgotten. So basically, why are the African kings not talked about? Obviously, because they lost the wars. So history is like threw the book at them. Like, yeah, you maybe have a little bit of knowledge about you, but overall, and it wasn't necessarily the king itself, it was usually the ancestors. It just started losing their power, basically the great grandkids that just weren't as sophisticated as the king and just got lazy, as you see any other empire, it starts to falter and fall apart. But to go back into the multiverse of your New York City, to how to break free of this is basically not letting any of this stuff, the politics, the movies, and all that, not to let it get to. I mean, yes, you might observe it to a certain level, but like I said, the more that you step back from it, and many, like I said, many have, but some are still absorbed into it. But even like the secret space program energy, that can pull you in also. It's like you step away from propaganda of that and then connect to your own secret space and like where that shows up. You have to clear out all the propaganda though to really tap into it. And it might not always show itself to clearly, just whatever comes to mind that needs to come through. Some of you have parallel lifetimes in New York City. China is trying times to create its own New York City. It's trying to bring in other realities. Let's put it that way. All your cities are trying to bring in different realms, and so they're kind of fighting among. You have different people here, so they're seeing who they can once again keep you attracted to certain realities. So you can't just have one city, one culture. You have all these different cultures, so you have to have diversity around the world to keep this movie going. Obviously, getting the word out and say, "Hey, everybody, just not care about any of this anymore." Yes, all the politicians all having their theater, their musical chairs, and just not to give it power. Yes, to just, yeah, that's great, that's nice, and just wander into your own universe and let that one collapse. So obviously, many are feeding it. You're angry about conspiracy theories and all of that, so they're kind of feeding the beast. The more that you just don't, I mean, you can care, but don't care. The more that you don't care, the more that you become you. It's like, oh, there I am. And I'm not part of any of this. I'm nothing like this world. And that's a good thing. This world, obviously, others are absorbed into this world. They love this world, obviously, because they have teachings here that they need to go through. This is part of their school. So obviously, they can't step back completely. You can still learn from this world and not be pulled into it. It's propaganda. And so learn the lessons of it. It actually make things even easier for you. Others want to learn the hard way. And you see a lot of that here. Obviously, the trolls and all of that are here, the trickster beings, a lot of them don't even have a soul. You see trolls online and all that. A lot of there's just demonic. It's just like, there's a person there, but there's a lot of demonic beings that just enter in. They attack you and all of that because they see your vulnerabilities. But they realize they're kind of trapped in their own realm, and they're not about to let it go anytime soon. Well, when you're trapped in the lower dimensions, you're going to tell everybody how great you are, even if you're stealing everybody's ideas. And it just kind of, the more you understand that realm, the more you step away from all of this, not let it affect you so much, you can still learn from it. The lower realms, the aliens can stop popping up because you're not just letting this dimension control your mind anymore. You're going to your universe. So your universe, your aliens start to appear. That's one way of looking at it. Easier said than done, of course.